And let's begin with breaking news that's coming in at the top of 6 p.m. here. Israel conducts another wave of strikes on Iran. This is the 12th wave of strikes. In these attacks, the headquarters of the special unit of the Iranian regime responsible for all internal security forces was attacked. The headquarters commanded all of the special units of the Iranian terror regime in the district and serves to direct the regime's armed forces. So this is yet another strike. Iranian media has also reported that the death toll has now risen in Iran as a result of these strikes to 1,230. That's the number of casualties. Remember, Iran has maintained there's no official figure at this point by other countries. Iran claims 1,230 people have died in this conflict. But let me bring in Pranay Upadhyay for more details on this particular strike, the latest wave of strikes by Israel on Iran. Pranay, the targets are military headquarters, establishments that will essentially weaken the Iranian regime. Run us through the latest targets of these strikes.
Akshita, we are almost, crossed the 120 hours of this conflict, and now Israeli Air Force in Israeli Defense Forces have put out this social media post clearly indicating that they have now, beyond the air defense systems of Iran and in fact beyond the air assets of Iran, the military targets of Iran, now they are targeting the IRGCs, the military command post, IRGC's infrastructure, IRGC's intelligence gathering, apparatus. This clearly indicates that, now they are full throttle to dismantle and to destroy the regime structure, the Islamic regime of Iran. And this clearly shows that this has entered into a phase where we can also see more collateral damages because, these streets of Iran, where these offices, where the establishments are, they are swelling with people, because large number of people are already on the streets protesting, the assassination of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader. And in fact, now if you see that how U.S. Department of War has put out their statement, and they said that now onwards they will be entering into a different phase of this operation, because we are already into the 6th day of this operation, and in the next phase of the operation, they will be targeting and dismantling the entire government or the entire administrative structure of IRGC and the Islamic government of Iran.
All right, so the strikes continue. Pranay, thanks very much for getting us all of those details. And China, in its pitch to also mediate right now on the conflict, is also to send its envoy to the Middle East. So China seems to be ramping up efforts to play peacemaker of sorts amid this escalating war. China's confirmed that it will be sending a special envoy to the region, to the Middle East. Now, what they're trying to do is also send out a message of peace, extend an olive branch to Middle East countries, saying we will ensure that we mediate and bring peace to the Middle East region. Now, exactly where, in fact, they will be based, where will this envoy be based, which are the countries who they will have a conversation with, we don't have those details just yet, but a special envoy, the Chinese Foreign Ministry has confirmed, will be immediately sent across to the Middle East. And China, it seems, is serious about attempting, at least, to play a mediator role here. As far as China is concerned, it's got skin in the game, effectively. And that's because repeatedly there's been a focus on exactly how Iran and China have been very closely linked. In fact, a whole lot of Iran's supplies also come from China, including a very active rail route between China and Iran that we'll highlight for you. Amid that, China, while talking of mediation, is all set to send an envoy to the Middle East, which has, of course, been rocked by the strikes, effectively become a casualty of the conflict between US, Israel and Iran. So let me also now give you a sense of the countries and where they stand as far as this conflict in West Asia is concerned. I want to put out for you that particular data of which countries right now are siding with Iran. Let's take a look at that as well. You've got China, you've got Russia on the side of Iran, but Pakistan as well. That's come out to condemn the strikes by US and Israel on Iran. Pakistan, many suggest, is in a catch-22 situation of sorts, and that's because of the fact that you've got on one hand Iran, a Muslim nation, and on the other Pakistan has been trying very, very hard to kind of reach out to the US and be in the good books of US and Israel, so much so they're on the Gaza Board of Peace as well. China, Russia, Pakistan on the side of Iran. So very little support essentially that Iran has right now. Not many other countries willing to really back them as far as the Middle East itself is concerned. Many are highlighting the fact that with what's happened in the last few days, Iran faces the threat of alienation from some of their somewhat friendly neighbors. That's no longer the case, and that's because of Iran going all out to strike these US bases. That's led to a few civilian casualties as well. So none of the Middle East countries have taken to it kindly. At this point, as you can see, just about 3 countries on the side of Iran. But the theater of war is expanding. More and more countries are now being dragged into this conflict. If it started off with just US, Israel and Iran, that's no longer the case. Now we're seeing a lot more of other countries being dragged into the conflict, whether it's Turkey. In the last 24 hours, Turkey and Azerbaijan have been dragged into this particular war as well. Missiles were intercepted in Turkey. Another attack has now been reported from a European nation. It's Azerbaijan, which has claimed that Iranian drones struck 2 locations in the country. According to Azerbaijan's foreign ministry, 1 drone crashed into the airport terminal building, injuring 2 people. The second drone reportedly struck near a school building. Azerbaijan has strongly condemned the attack, saying it reserves the right to retaliate. The government has also summoned the Iranian ambassador seeking an explanation. Meanwhile, fresh explosions have also been reported from Doha, the capital of Qatar. Qatar's defense ministry claims its air defense systems intercepted incoming missiles. The Israel Defense Forces says it continues to pound Iranian targets and has released a video that it claims showing the downing of a fighter jet. The Yak-130 fighter jet, it claims, has been downed. So first Qatar, followed by Bahrain and Kuwait, all so-called friendly neighbors of Iran, now in the heart of this conflict. Unprecedented strikes took place in the UAE. We saw those images from Dubai and Abu Dhabi. The wave continued westwards. Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Iraq were all dragged in. Another country dragged into this conflict is Lebanon, struck by Israel while targeting Hezbollah positions. The escalation then moved along the Gulf Coast. Strikes were reported in Oman and now into the Mediterranean. Cyprus, with a UK airbase there, was targeted, and then you had Turkey as well. The war appears to be spreading even further because, as I told you, Azerbaijan now has also seen 2 strikes. Let's get you breaking news that's coming in. And Prime Minister Modi has spoken to French President Emmanuel Macron. Prime Minister Modi has confirmed on social media that he's had a conversation with President Macron, who he refers to as his friend, saying we discussed our shared concerns over the evolving situation in West Asia and the need for a return to dialogue, to diplomacy. We will continue to engage closely and coordinate efforts towards the early restoration of peace, of stability in the region. And so Prime Minister Modi, in that conversation with the French president, has spoken about the return to dialogue, the return to diplomacy. Remember, France has also in fact said that they will back US in their operation, helping also actively militarily by moving some of their military assets. In such a situation, Prime Minister Modi, speaking to French President Macron, has reiterated the need for dialogue, for diplomacy, putting out India's stated position that the most important aspect is to ensure that peace is brought back. Prime Minister Modi, I will play out that statement for you. The Prime Minister earlier today, while speaking, did highlight that there is a need to ensure that military conflict is not the immediate solution that arises from any conflict. And so India has said very clearly, whether it's the Russia-Ukraine war or what's playing out in West Asia, military conflict is never the solution. It's in line with that Prime Minister Modi is also speaking to several world leaders, including the latest being French President Macron.
भारत और फिनलैंड दोनों रूल ऑफ लॉ, डायलॉग और डिप्लोमेसी में विश्वास रखते हैं। हम एकमत है कि केवल मिलिट्री कॉन्फ्लिक्ट से किसी भी मुद्दे का समाधान नहीं निकल सकता। यूक्रेन हो या पश्चिमी एशिया, हम संघर्ष की शीघ्र समाप्ति और शांति के हर प्रयास का समर्थन करते रहेंगे। हम इस बात पर भी सहमत हैं कि बढ़ते हुए ग्लोबल चैलेंजेस के समाधान के लिए ग्लोबल इंस्टीट्यूशंस का रिफॉर्म आवश्यक ही नहीं, अर्जेंट भी है और आतंकवाद के हर रूप को जड़ से समाप्त करना हमारी साझी प्रतिबद्धता है।
So that was a message that came in from Prime Minister Modi today, while in fact speaking the joint statement with the Finland President Alexander Stubb, where Prime Minister Modi said that military conflict is never the solution. It's essentially that message that he's also giving out to other world leaders like French President Emmanuel Macron, where he says that we've shared our concerns over West Asia and that there is a need for, in fact, dialogue and diplomacy to return to that, to ensure peace. The question that will come up is how is it possible in the current scenario where any attempt of dialogue seems to immediately be rejected. US very clearly saying that there is no question of any dialogue. Now let's cut across to more breaking news coming in. And let's also tell you about the latest updates coming in on Israel's strikes in Iran. They've launched now on their latest round of strikes. They've attacked a missile launcher in Iran. And it's not just in Iran, but also in Lebanon, in Beirut. Hezbollah command centers have been decimated, eliminated completely. The Israeli Defense Forces have said and issued an urgent alert for residents living in Beirut's southern suburbs, saying save your lives and evacuate your homes immediately. This is the message that's gone across from Israel as the strikes continue in parts of Lebanon, in parts of Iran as well. An alert has been issued telling everyone living in these areas to immediately leave. The messaging there then is that Israel isn't backing off. They are going to continue their strikes going after Hezbollah. And so they're saying save your lives, leave immediately. This even as we've been seeing the strikes taking place in Beirut of Lebanon, Israel is targeting not just pockets of Iran but pockets of Lebanon to take on their Hezbollahs who continue to also attempt to strike Israel. So this is a multi-pronged conflict as you can make out, and even for Israel there isn't just one single enemy but many that they're now targeting. So this is the latest update that we're getting you right now. You can see the images on your screens released by Israel. They've been doing this every 24 hours to kind of show off their might, show off the impact that their strikes have had in pockets of Lebanon as well as pockets of Iran. These Israeli strikes continuing in Beirut right now, leading to alerts and advisories being issued by Israel. Israel continues to maintain that our war is not against the people of Lebanon, our war is not against the people of Iran, which is why these alerts are being put out to ensure minimum casualties as far as civilians are concerned. But the footage on your screens once again shows you exactly how these precision strikes are being carried out, something that's now being referred to as the new normal in war. Precision strikes that target that exact pinpointed location and therefore ensuring that even civilian settlements around the area do not face the brunt of this particular conflict, are not struck. There has, however, of course, been that one incident that was reported where you had a school in Iran being destroyed as well as a result of a misfire. Iran maintains that the number of casualties in this war has gone up to 1,230. Mayan Hoffman is joining us live from Jerusalem with the latest updates. Mayan, we understand the strikes on the part of Israel continue. You can confirm for us, however, that as far as Iranian strikes, or for that matter Hezbollah strikes on Israel is concerned, that's definitely reduced in the last 24 hours.
That's correct. Israel continues to strike Iran. They just finished their 12th round of strikes against the Iranian regime there in the country. They're saying that they've launched over 5,000 bombs on Iran since the start of the war, and they've killed more than 3,000 Iranian military and activists. So Israel is continuing there. On the other side, in the north, as you know, once Hezbollah decided a few days ago to join in this war, Israel has been doing targeted strikes in Lebanon as well. We're seeing them, just hours ago, distribute leaflets out to all of the people saying leave certain areas so that Israel could carry out the necessary strikes. Now, here in Israel, we have seen reduced strikes. However, just about an hour ago, a little bit less, we had an alert in Israel, a siren for a rocket coming in with no warning in advance. People were rushing to their shelters just a very little bit ago. We also saw that going on in central Israel. This morning, we also had quite a mishap when around 10:30, a siren was sounded and an El Al plane bringing about the second or third plane, a rescue flight of Israelis who were stranded abroad about to land at the airport when Iran fired a missile. A siren went off and the plane was forced to reroute and to stop until that alert was over. Yeah.
All right, Mayan, thank you for those updates. We're going to keep connecting with you to get a sense of what's really happening in parts of Israel and also to understand what exactly the Israeli government stand is here and what's playing out in the days to come. We're going to continue getting you those ground reports and details of how this conflict continues to expand. Will any mediation actually help? We'll continue tracking all those updates.